What's up, everyone? So last year, we saw some seriously impressive updates coming to Apple CarPlay. Better customization, deeper car integration, cleaner layouts, widgets, all that stuff. And honestly, it kind of felt like Android Auto was starting to fall behind a little in terms of overall experience. But now, yeah, Google just fired back hard. Android Auto is finally getting one of its biggest updates in years, and some of these new features look genuinely amazing. We're talking redesigned visuals, customizable widgets, immersive Google Maps, Gemini AI getting way smarter inside the car, and for the first time ever, actual video playback support right inside Android Auto. Yeah, your car is basically turning into a rolling smart device at this point. Now, for the longest time, Android Auto kind of felt like this simple extension of your phone. Useful? Absolutely. But visually, pretty basic. Most people plugged it in, opened Maps or Spotify, and that was pretty much the experience. But now, Google is clearly trying to make Android Auto feel like a fully integrated infotainment system, instead of just a phone mirror slapped onto your dashboard. So yeah, today we're going through all the new Android Auto features Google just revealed, what's actually useful, what feels gimmicky, and honestly, where this whole thing might be heading next. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and let's get into it. Now, first up, probably the biggest overall change here is the completely redesigned interface, and honestly, this looks way cleaner than the current Android Auto setup. Google says the new system is designed to adapt better to different screen sizes and layouts because modern cars are all over the place now. Some have ultra-wide screens, some have vertical displays, some have weird curved dashboards, and some still look like someone glued an iPad onto the center console. But from what they showed, the new Android Auto UI actually scales pretty nicely across different vehicles, whether it's a BMW, a Mini, a Lucid, or basically any newer car with a big infotainment screen. The interface looks much more fluid and modern now. And personally, one thing I really liked here is that Android Auto finally feels customizable. Before, it mostly felt identical no matter whose car you are in, but now we're getting wallpapers, expressive fonts, smoother animations, and customizable widgets that actually make the dashboard feel personal. And honestly, the widgets are probably one of the smartest additions here. Because think about it, while driving, you don't want to constantly jump between apps just to check little things. So now Google's adding glanceable widgets directly onto the dashboard. Stuff like weather info, favorite contacts, shortcuts for smart garage doors, quick controls, and more. That sounds small, but in real-world driving, that's actually super useful, especially because the widgets stay visible even while navigation is running, so you're no longer forced into that old-school full-screen map-only setup all the time. Speaking of maps, this next part is honestly the biggest visual upgrade Android Auto has gotten in years. Google is introducing something called immersive navigation inside Google Maps, and yeah, this looks seriously impressive. The map now has this much more detailed 3D look with buildings, overpasses, terrain, lane details, stop signs, and overall way better environmental awareness. Instead of looking like flat GPS graphics from 5 years ago, it actually feels closer to modern built-in luxury car navigation systems now. And more importantly, it looks more functional too. Because they're not just adding visuals for the sake of visuals. The new system highlights critical road details much more clearly, especially during tricky merges, lane changes, exits, and intersections. So when you're driving in unfamiliar areas at night or in heavy traffic, that extra visual clarity could genuinely help. Now, if you've got a car with Google built-in instead of regular Android Auto, it gets even crazier because Google says some vehicles will support live lane guidance using the car's actual front-facing camera. Basically, the system analyzes the road in real time and shows you your exact lane position directly inside Maps. That's honestly getting dangerously close to luxury-level navigation systems now. And then there's the entertainment side of things, which honestly surprised us the most. For the first time ever, Android Auto is finally getting video playback support. Yeah, you'll be able to watch videos from apps like YouTube directly on your car screen while parked or charging, and Google says playback supports full HD at 60 FPS on supported vehicles. Now, obviously this only works while parked for safety reasons, but honestly, this still makes a ton of sense. Because modern cars already have massive high-resolution screens, premium speakers, heated seats, and ridiculously comfortable cabins. At this point, some cars genuinely feel like mini theaters already, so Google is clearly leaning into that idea now. And one thing we thought was really smart here is how the system handles switching back to driving. When you start moving, the video doesn't just abruptly stop. Instead, it automatically transitions into audio playback. So if you're watching a podcast, interview, documentary, or long-form YouTube video, it basically continues like a podcast once you start driving again. That's actually a really good implementation. Now, audio itself is also getting upgraded. Android Auto is adding Dolby Atmos support for supported apps and supported vehicles, so apps like YouTube Music and Spotify are getting better audio integration along with redesigned media interfaces too. And honestly, this whole update feels like Google finally realized people spend a lot of time inside their cars now, especially with EV charging stops, long commutes, road trips, traffic, all of that stuff. Cars are becoming entertainment spaces now, not just transportation tools. But alright, now we gotta talk about Gemini, because obviously Google is pushing AI hard right now. And honestly, some of these features actually look genuinely useful in the car. Google says Gemini is now rolling out to over 250 million cars that support Android Auto, and unlike older voice assistants that mostly just handled simple commands, Gemini is trying to understand context better now. For example, in the demo, someone gets a text asking for the address of a hiking trail. Gemini automatically understands the context, pulls the address from emails or calendar info, and offers to send it instantly. That's way more advanced than traditional voice assistants. Then another example showed Gemini ordering food through DoorDash using natural language, like literally saying, "Order my usual tacos but double it," and Gemini just handles it. Now, obviously, we'll have to see how reliable this stuff is in real-world use, because voice assistants love failing during demos sometimes. But if even half of this works consistently, it could actually make in-car assistants way more practical than they currently are. And then there's Google built-in vehicles, where Gemini gets even deeper integration, because now the AI can apparently answer questions specific to your actual car, like explaining dashboard warning symbols, checking if something fits in your trunk based on the vehicle dimensions, stuff like that. That's honestly pretty wild. Like, imagine asking, "Will this 65-inch TV fit in my car?" And the system actually knows your trunk dimensions and gives a proper answer. That's the kind of integration that starts making the car feel more like an actual smart device, instead of just a screen running apps. Now, of course, not all of this is coming to every single car immediately. Some features depend on the vehicle itself, some require Google built-in, some need supported apps, and some will only work on newer infotainment systems. So yeah, older cars running basic Android Auto probably won't suddenly transform into futuristic AI theaters overnight. But still, this is easily one of the most important Android Auto updates we've seen in a long time, because Google finally seems to understand that people don't just want navigation anymore. They want personalization, entertainment, smarter assistants, better visuals, better usability, basically an experience that feels modern. And honestly, compared to where Android Auto was just a few years ago, this feels like a huge leap forward. So yeah, that's pretty much everything new coming to Android Auto right now. Honestly, some of these features look genuinely impressive, especially the immersive navigation and the new Gemini integrations. And finally getting proper widgets and video playback support, yeah, long overdue. Now, obviously, we'll have to wait and see how smoothly all this actually works once it rolls out to real cars, because polished demos and real-world usage are usually two very different things. But at least from what Google showed here, Android Auto is finally starting to feel like a true next-generation in-car platform, instead of just a phone companion app. But alright guys, that's going to be it for this one. Let us know down in the comments which feature you're most excited about, and also tell us, would you actually use YouTube playback in your car while charging or parked? Honestly, I probably would. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more tech and automotive content like this, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.